So, and welcome once again to the World in Focus podcast and Portuguese Made Easy, your space where we connect culture, edutainment, and development all across the world. Today we are here at the World Skills Barbados in the wonderful country of Barbados. Today joining me is a phenomenal master chef. He took off his hat so that he doesn't have to talk about his years of experience, but we're going to get into that shortly. Tell us about yourself. First of all, welcome. Man.
Well, welcome, and thank you for being invited to be on your program. So, where do I come from? Well, very humble beginnings.
Yeah.
You know, dropped off in an orphanage.
Wow.
And grew through the foster care system.
Okay.
Eventually, obviously, I ended up with my birth father.
Yeah.
And that all happened in Switzerland. So even there it happens, right? So why I say that
Drop
is
that bomb and leave it right
yeah,
there.
so why I say that is there's a lot of people out there who blame their
We're gonna start again. And welcome back to the World in Focus podcast and Portuguese Made Easy. I'm Professor Sir Dr. Indonesia and cultural diplomat for Indonesia, the Solo Surakarta Hadiningrat Sultanate of Indonesia. And today we are at World Skills Barbados, an event taking place here looking at what our youths are doing. And today I have the opportunity to speak to an amazing chef, a master chef. I'll let him tell you about himself.
all right. Well, good morning and thanks for letting me be on this program. So I'm Chef Döös, as most people call me. I'll tell you a little bit later that is something that I use in other places. But I was asked where I came from and how I started, right?
Yes.
So I'm one of those people that didn't start out with a silver spoon in his mouth. So my mom gave birth in an orphanage and left. So I basically went through the foster care system, eventually got found by my dad, and then had a fairly normal life for a little while.
Okay.
And I say that not for any other reason, but when I talk to a lot of young people, they make the excuse that, well, it is not. It has nothing to do where you come from. It has nothing to do what your starting is. You look, I give it to you. If somebody starts you out with $1 million, right, then hopefully you make another one. But the point I'm trying to say is we all have the same exact starting point.
Yes.
And that starting point is you, right? So for me, as a young man, a young kid, I wanted to see the world. I wasn't, when you talk to chefs, I'm sure that a lot of these chefs will tell you, I became a chef because I always was around food and a lot of food and I like the idea that, not this boy.
Yeah.
This boy wanted to see the world. So
Okay.
I was very trying to find a word. Well, let's not find a word.
Yeah.
I was the kid that really wanted to manipulate my own world to see
Okay.
what I wanted to do. So
Okay.
I'm in Switzerland, so I have some choices. I become a watchmaker, right? The rest of the world is all Swiss watches. So I always had leftover stuff on the table.
Yeah.
So I tried them. The guy said, that's not for you. So then the next one, of course, was a chocolatier.
Okay.
And a chocolatier, that is I love chocolate, but
Yeah,
I
right.
usually wore more chocolate than I had on the table. So that was not for me either. So I tried out baking.
Right.
That was okay.
Yeah.
But then culinary kind of had more opportunities.
Okay.
Right. So in Europe, when you go to work, they usually give you a plane ticket or a train ticket or a bus ticket, and you go to a hotel, which then has employee quarters. So you have staff quarters, you get a bed, and you get your food, and you go to work. So you don't have to have anything else but a small backpack, and that's it. And that was for me. But that was just Switzerland.
Okay.
I wanted to see the world.
Right.
So culinary is what eventually ended up for me to be the vehicle to see the world.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
you know, I started out in Europe. I worked in London, met my wife there. I moved to Bermuda. Eventually, you know, reeled her into Bermuda as well.
Right.
We went to the States.
Okay.
I was in the Far East for a moment. Eventually ended up in the Virgin Islands. I reared my kids there, and I'm still there
In the Virgin Islands.
in the Virgin
Okay.
Islands, right?
Yeah.
So, and I said before, chef, I am not a chef today by my incoming profession. I'm a chef by what I am. Now,
Okay.
when you heard Michael before, his allocates of the titles,
Yeah, understood.
equally.
Yeah.
I'm not going to
Understood.
repeat them all.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and on top of that, a whole bunch of academics.
Right. Okay.
You know, that one that ends as a P. We leave that alone too. Because I don't use them. And the
Understood.
reason is that whenever I sign a check or my name, it is Chef Döös. That's what I started
it.
with, and
Yeah,
I'm still
yeah,
there.
understood.
Although today I am working for the Virgin Islands government.
Yeah.
I'm the executive director for Korea Technical Education Sport in the Virgin Islands. So
Interesting.
rather than being responsible for cooking, I am now, together with the board, responsible for all career technical education from welding to automotive or the other way around, right?
That's amazing.
Which means humble beginnings,
Yeah.
know where you want to go, get yourself a profession that beats you, and later in life, tweak it to go and become a mentor and be able to steer the world, right?
That's
So
fun.
that is my thing. Now I gotta say that even though I didn't become a cook because of love of cooking,
Yeah.
I started to love cooking,
Understood. Okay.
right? So
Okay.
I started to like food, which also got me to 350 pounds. So I was a good looking boy, right?
I'm gonna say.
But you know, like anything in life, you eventually realize that that might not be a good thing. And
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, you say, okay, look, let me get back into fighting weight, which I'm right now a little bit over that. But then again, I'm in Barbados, so I'm
Yeah.
eating a little bit too much good food. And I'm on a competition that produces really good food. And as a
Yes, of
judge,
course.
that's what you do, right? You
Right.
taste.
Uh,
But all jokes aside, right? It's a profession that feeds you for life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Well, Chef told us about certifications. What are the young people taking away from this?
So, my goal being that I made my home in the Caribbean region has been always, and actually I should probably go and say that too. I came to the region because when I researched St. Croix, it was one of these islands that was up and coming in tourism. And so I thought that would be a good place to go and start a school.
Understood.
That didn't really happen until about 20 years later when I became a school teacher because the new technical
You
school
taught as well.
needed a teacher. So I said, you know, I could probably go again, not because of any other reason than I needed employees.
Yeah, understood. Yeah.
They paid me to make my own employees. How cool is that?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I started teaching, and what they didn't tell me is because it was just a couple of hours every day, that once you have a couple of students, you never leave
Yeah.
because
they
you
capture the heart,
always
yeah.
want to go and finish that
What-
one
yes.
student, and then
Yes.
they very cleverly give you another one for next
Of
year.
course.
And for
of course.
20 years, I
It's the-
did that, right?
Yeah.
But I do gotta say I love it,
Yeah.
and I think the best reward for me as a former teacher is when some students are successful and as a whole they become really good citizens, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, and that is really the most satisfactory.
Understood.
So what do these kids get out of here? Well, my goal was really to uplift and celebrate. And I
Yeah.
think that in a lot of places, especially here in the region, we work our people really hard. And if you're lucky enough to be living in a country that gets you a pension, you may live out your life comfortably.
Yes.
And that's about the end of it, right? But if you think about a person, a female or a male who worked in the industry for many years.
Yeah.
What other allocates? What other celebration of his being, of his professional knowledge was there? And so the certification level of fulfilling the requirement to be certified by your peers in a level like a culinarian is, of course, your mentor level that certifies you. But myself and Michael and John, we are all certified evaluators for the American Culinary Federation.
Understood.
And at that level, we can go and certify. For instance, Chef Peter was one of the people that I certified.
And that is Peter Edie, everyone.
Right. So, and Peter Edie, the Emerald of Barbados,
Of course, yes,
right?
yeah.
The person that anybody knows,
Everybody.
right? He is an icon of culinary in the Barbados and in the region. He was humble enough to say, I need to certify myself to let myself be celebrated, and the people, they come after me, they can celebrate me as well, and I can celebrate them.
Yeah.
So he and I have been collaborating for many years now,
Right.
about how we can help the region to advance its culinary talent. Besides the Taste of the Caribbean, that is a very good competition that comes through the Regional Hotel Association. We wanted to find a vehicle that gave us that edge on culinary life, if you will.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, because the American Culinary Federation is the closest to home, right? So, and it's a well organized association that, you know, is made up by a lot of different chefs from different nationalities, and they have collaborated together to make the really good certification program, so much so that it is now, like Chef Michael said, it's now part of wax. You know, we had some other avenues, maybe go into the European picture of culinary, maybe adopt the French one. Maybe we were thinking of maybe we could use the Canadian. They have different standards, right? But the American Culinary Federation, we felt, gave us most of the support because we can go and have each of our islands become chapters of you know, sub-chapters of the American Culinary Association, and get the benefits of what these folks do in the States, equally so in
and that leads me then to my next question then, Chef. What is the value added tax to Barbados, for example? What industries can benefit then from this?
Well, think of this. Just like if you buy a car, you buy a car because of its name and what this particular brand produces.
Yeah.
Now there are many cars, right? And there's many brands which are really good. And I think when you look at tourism, anybody can go and say we're a cook, right? But having the label saying that this particular property is managed by a certified executive chef, that assures me several things. Number one, the standards of culinary are high. The standards of safety and sanitation for food safety and nutrition are high, because these are subtitles within our certification. And these young people here, in order to get certified, they have to have a minimum of 30 hours of food nutritional courses. And that those courses are not simply what's vitamin A and are there water soluble, fat soluble. It is rigorous, right? Equally so, they have to know about food and beverage costing and management. They have to go and have all these fundamentals before we even go to having a practical and a written exam take. So when you ask me what is the value added tax, what is the ROI of doing that? Then I would say, well, it gives a property the marketing tool to say my property has everything in place for you to have the greatest culinary experience in an environment that will leave you safe,
Excellent.
right?
So guys, what they're trying to say is if you do the American certification,
American,
chef,
yeah,
culinary chef,
ACF, yeah,
ACF,
American Culinary, yeah, ACF.
American Culinary Federation, right?
Yeah.
Program, you are going to be covered. So hold on, guys. I want to ask him one last question before we pull our next international chef in. Have you been to Brazil?
Have I been in Brazil? Only in hopes to see some great bikinis while I'm at the carnival. But that's still a hope.
Oh, you haven't been to Carnival?
Well, listen, we invented carnival. I'm from Switzerland, okay? We invented carnival.
Seriously, there's a carnival in Switzerland.
Hey, 1291, right? That's when Switzerland became a nation, 1291.
Mm.
Those are all new countries. So anything that we already did, you guys are just copying it, you know?
Right, guys? And they don't have anything on crop over. But anyhow, thank you so very much, Chef, for joining us.
Well, no, okay, now it's not going to be like crop over. It's more like our carnival, our festival in St. Croix, Christmas time. So you guys can do crop over here during the summer, and then you travel
go
up to,
Yeah,
St. Croix and do it again.
Yeah,
just for
yeah,
fun.
Pleasure,
But
man.
anyway, nice
Okay,
talking to you.
Chef.
All right.
You can